Looking forward into agriculture in California, especially in wine grapes and what goes on in the North Coast, we're finding that yes, there could be a shortage of labor, experienced labor. The workforce is definitely getting older, but more skilled and more experienced in what they're doing. But at the same time, if your vineyards are set up well with good canopy and good canopy management, you can have a little bit of mechanization in there to help offset some of those deficiencies, such as labor and, for that matter, even water, as we speak with the California drought in its 5th year. But one thing here, as you see in this block on this side, this was just with the leafer, the Clemens leafer, that comes through and takes the leaves off the outside, and you can see how well this fruit is exposed just with one pass from the machine. It doesn't get all the internal leaves, it doesn't get a lot of the laterals and things, but the effect is very promising that we can pass through this fruit and do minimal damage to the clusters that are out here on the outside of the canopy, but yet remove a lot of leaves, so when the hand crew has to come in, yes, they can fine tune and pull out some of the interior leaves that are still here. We've exposed the clusters for spray for the morning sun that's behind us right now, and again, it's a very effective tool. Hand leafing is a very laborious type of operation if it's going to be done right. But again, if we have a machine that can go ahead of this crew and the trellis is set up and everything's in perfect working order, it's very quick to come through and address the internal parts of these canopies to open them up further. As you can see on my left, this side here being the afternoon, the western side was not exposed with the leafer. And virtually you cannot even see the clusters. With this Sauvignon Blanc, we have to be careful that we don't overexpose. Yes, the crew will come through and perhaps remove a couple of leaves here and there to allow some dappled light, but we definitely do not want to have the same type of exposure as on the right where the machine passes on the morning side. The economics of the tractor with the leafing machine is very significant as far as a reduction in the amount of time it takes to have an exposure of clusters such as you see here on the left. And I'm talking about probably for 200, and there's probably 250 vines in this row. It takes about 5 to 7 minutes to make that pass. One advantage about the equipment I have, we can go down a 6-foot row, and actually it's variable. We can do 8-foot rows, 10-foot rows, it doesn't make any difference, but we're able to get down a 6-foot row with no problems. You can see the amount of leaves that are coming out of the machine that's being sucked or plucked off of the canopy on that morning side. It's chewing them up pretty well, and there's a good fan inside that spits those chunks of leaves out. And I would estimate he's moving about 1.5 miles an hour, something of that nature, but you can see he's pushing into that canopy. The beauty of the machine, it can flip 180, so when you come back down the adjacent row, you can just flip the machine over and still come down, so you're not deadheading. It's not a one-way machine. Again, the operator has to pay attention to what's out here, the cross arms. But again, he's pushing in on this trellis system to get in as close as he can, and he's got flexibility. He's got some rigidity, but flexibility in this canopy that allows him to extract as many leaves and chop them up into little bits of leaf matter that goes on the floor. To do the same kind of operation with a hand crew, probably would take one person about 8 or 9 hours to do the same type of work from one end to the other. We have a very narrow window of opportunity, because if we wait until we get to berry softening, we can have bruising, we can have some damage to those clusters, which starts another problem. If we go in a little too early while the fruit is undersized, we're actually pulling berries off. So again, timing is critical. There's a lot of things that have to happen through the spring growing season months. And so again, if you have the benefit of a machine that can help with your labor supply, or lack of labor supply in this case, it is truly, truly a benefit. With the flexibility within my company, we have a lot of different types of equipment that we can actually contract out to other growers. It's just a matter of getting a hold of me or through the website and saying you need to borrow or rent, I should say, a piece of equipment, and we're more than able to accommodate or do the job for you.